Hello, and welcome back to the Pokemon SoulSilver Nuzlocke. And for now, featuring Quickdraw Crobat along with Zidarose.
Am I a feature?
Yeah, you were the featured guest.
Fair enough. So, we left off last time.
Yes,
with,
that whole 2 days ago.
Loss of a Sentret.
Yep.
Which is a pity, because I have always loved Sentret and Furret.
Yeah, Furret is freaking adorable.
Second Gen added a lot of early game mon that I appreciate the heck out of.
Yes, I was seriously hoping Sentret would last longer.
Sentret and Furret,
nope.
Hoot and Noctowl, Pineco and Forretress, Mareep, Flaffy, and Ampharos, the first 3-stage electric type.
Oh yeah, I almost always forget about that, but no, you're not going to forget about because you freaking love Ampharos.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I also that was one of the things. That's one of the things that second generation introduced, and that's kind of the jag I'm going on here.
Also, hey, Kakuna, you want to know what your Harden's useless against?
Water.
Water gun! Go, Benam. I'm very sure I'm still mispronouncing that.
Well, you said you randomized it, so you can pronounce it however the heck you feel like.
So true.
At any rate, so let's see. It was we were talking about the hex code, right?
Yeah,
hex code changes. So second
things.
generation also introduced the special split.
Okay.
So
Oboro's taking this fight.
You realize that Bellsprout is part poison type, right?
I was spacey on that fact.
I mean, it means neutral effectiveness, and Vine Whip is just not going to do anything.
Good
because
point.
It's still a special attack. But
Ben's not going to care, right? Oh yeah, no, doesn't care.
Ben's about 4 times as level.
Yeah.
So yeah, non-issue.
Yes.
At any rate, the special split happened with second generation. Which kind of ruined some things that I liked, but made others even better. It was very weird for me.
Remember, we are dealing with people who won't know exactly what we're talking about. To quickly illuminate and elaborate on this special split that we've mentioned, in Generation 1, there was a stat that was merely special. This is what made Mewtwo the baller Pokemon that they were.
Well, also,
and what made growth so OP.
You know, back in Generation 1, you only really needed Venusaur.
Yeah.
Just Venusaur. Took Venusaur, Razor Leaf, because back then high crit moves were reversed critical frequency instead of just increased critical frequency.
Right.
The base critical frequency of most moves is 6.5%.
Yep.
Back then, a high crit move like Slash or Razor Leaf had that inverted, so they had a 93.5% chance of critical hitting.
No wonder I killed so many things doing that.
But also back then, when you scored a critical hit, it ignored all stat alterations on both Mon. So,
whereas now it just ignores them on one of them. Right.
So it was very interesting to try and do. But I managed to beat the Elite Four with a, what was it? I think level... Well, I mean, it had to get growth, so it was level 65. And then I just swept the entire Elite Four.
Yeah.
It was kind of dumb.
Yeah, and I'm probably said this already, but yeah, special became special attack and special defense.
And that created
that's perfectly illustrated by the fact Ben leveled up. Welcome to level 12. 12, buddy.
Yeah, it created a lot of interesting changes. One of the Pokemon that I really liked in first generation, Wigglytuff, wound up suffering a bit because of it, at least in my eyes, because the thing is with the combined special stat, it had very good special defense, but when they split it, its special attack was higher than that, but its special defense was much lower to attempt to compensate for its high hit points, which suddenly meant that a lot of moves that didn't do much to it before were doing a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate for me because I had a lot of fun first generation taking Wigglytuff and Mega Kicking rock Pokemon to death.
Okay, that is glorious in its imagery.
Yes. Wigglytuff has always had a fairly good physical attack stat.
Yep.
So I took advantage of its massive hit points and just sort of kicked everything.
We are hitting it first for the series. Oboro, our little Weedle, has hit level 7.
Alright.
Which means
if you let it evolve now, it gains Harden. And if you don't let it evolve now, it will never learn Harden.
Da 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 da. Okay, it was probably a little early there.
Well, I mean, you were very slightly off key, but it kind of worked because then I could harmonize with it, so it's all good.
Okay, so everyone benefits. Oboro, our fine lady. And now we've got that wonderful question of, how is she following me?
Silk.
Okay, yeah, works for me. Alright, and yeah, now I have no problem throwing Oboro in front of a Bellsprout.
You realize that with the, Physical Special Split was after Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Wait, the special split?
Yes.
Oh wait, you're referring to the moves that would...
Where it was no longer by type, but by individual move.
Ah.
So, Kakuna's special defense isn't increased over Weedle anywhere near as much as its defense is.
Yeah, but still, it took a Vine Whip for 2.
It's double resistance.
Oh yeah.
Fun point. Second generation also fixed the glitch in first generation that made bug and poison weak to each other.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. It certainly made bugs really nice to use against grass Pokemon, since most of the grass Pokemon in first generation were also poison type.
Yep.
But it made things very weird in some other ways.
Yeah.
But second generation onwards, they were instead resistant to each other.
Yeah, like it was intended to be.
Yeah, as was intended.
Okay,
so
you gotta switch in on this Kakuna, because otherwise... yeah, I don't want an episode eaten up by fighting a Kakuna.
It would only be about half an episode, maybe 3/4 tops.
Yeah, there's potential for a gym battle here.
Yeah. So you had the special split.
Yep.
But now it's time to backtrack to what I was saying about baby Pokemon, because second generation... Oh, no, we mentioned breeding.
Yeah, we talked about breeding, stat inheritance, inheriting moves.
Right, shinies.
Yep, shinies were introduced.
Second edition.
Yeah, there wasn't much to say on shinies.
Well, I mean, they exist.
Yep.
At the time, because shiny was being linked to specifically special defense, shiny Pokemon always had maximum... I believe it was... I may be recalling wrong, but I believe it was maximum individual value in special defense.
Yeah, well... Okay, what we know today as individual values...
Right. At the time they didn't have a name.
In Gold and Silver, they were actually...
they weren't named. They existed, but they weren't named.
Oh, yeah.
But that also
the history
brings
of
up
Pokemon.
That also brings up one of the less-known changes that happened around second generation.
Oh, that is cute, Pidgey. It tackled me for one.
Well, yes. So, it's generally common knowledge these days that the amount of effort points a Mon can get in a given stat maxes out at 255. And since that increases the level 100 stat by 1/4 of the value, there's really no point in going above 252.
Yes.
But, initially, that was the only cap on effort values.
Yes, and...
which means that...
Crobat, you're glossing over one little thing.
Yes?
It was 255 per stat.
Yes, I was getting to that. I was literally getting to that.
Okay, so I jumped the gun a smidge.
Yeah, the only cap was 255 effort points, which meant that since 252 is the highest, going from 252 to 255 does not actually increase a level 100 stat by an entire point.
Oh, wait.
Oh, he wants to talk about his top percent Rattata again.
Oh, hey, took down a Weedle with it. It was a cakewalk.
At some point I'm going to have to look up the origin of that phrase.
What?
At any
rate. It was a cakewalk?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, finding the origins of that stuff can be kind of interesting.
So,
patching up a
that
little.
was the only limit on effort points, effort values, which means that with a 252, you divide that by 4 and you've got 63. You can add 63 points per stat to every Pokemon just by going out and kicking the right things.
So many times.
And over and over. Mind, Pokerus did already exist.
Yes, Pokerus
did not produce any sort of signifier that would let you know that it had happened. That came around with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Okay. So, yeah, it exists. I thought it had a small signifier in this gen.
You had no indicator at the time whether or not your Pokemon had or had already
had gotten it
recovered
and cleared
from
Pokerus.
Oh,
Pokerus. That's a point for later. That ties here pretty nicely,
don't recall... No, it wasn't in second generation, but this was another reason why they had the split between second and third generation. Starting with third generation, you had a total maximum of effort points of 510 per Mon. This was possible because with the step from the second to third generation...
Yeah, going from the Game Boy Color to the Game Boy Advance.
Right, they were able to increase the amount of code that was used to indicate each Pokemon. So they were able to separate out things like shininess, male or female, effort values, so on and limitations, and so on and so forth, from a very short piece of code that originally indicated what the Pokemon was.
Yeah, and it... Come on. They'll try... Satoru Iwata?
Satoshi Tajiri was the one who came up with Pokemon.
Yes,
Satoru
Iwata helped with the coding, yes?
I believe so.
Okay, and honestly, even all this time after his death, we have so much to thank him for, because he's how Pokemon was able to even be functional on the Game Boy.
Well, there's another layer beyond that.
I have little doubt, honestly.
Oh, shoot. What was his name?
Unfortunately.
Responsible for Zelda and Mario.
Wait, Shigeru Miyamoto?
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Okay, I remember
Without
his name.
Shigeru Miyamoto, we wouldn't have Pokemon.
Good point.
Because
it was his love of bug collecting.
No. Satoshi Tajiri was the one who created Pokemon.
Yeah.
He created it based on his love of collecting and competing beetles as a child. But when he brought Pokemon to Nintendo as a concept, it was intended to be a for all ages game. That is part of why some of the sprites and some of the descriptions in the Pokédex for the first generation are way more mature seeming in terms of tone and in terms of depiction than in later games. Because initially it was intended to be an all ages game, and Nintendo rejected it on that premise. But Shigeru Miyamoto approached him afterwards and advised him to make them more appealing specifically to children, to make it at least seem more like a children's game. Which is why we got the much cuter sprites and why, for instance, Exeggutor is a standout example of this. Things stopped looking quite so creepy.
Yeah, that does kind of help. When I think about a Alolan Exeggutor and look to the top of the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there's like 2 intervening layers between me and it. I'm still looking right at the roof.
Yep. But at any rate, so other things that second generation introduced were, of course, with alongside happiness and working with it, hold items.
Oh, yes.
And
that was a
items,
massive
we
game
got
changer.
Berries.
Yep.
And with hold items, we got evolution through hold items and trading. And that was really big, because that was part of the introduction of the Steel type.
Yep.
Which,
and
Steel
type
and
Dark were introduced in this generation.
Steel type is really important because it is everything that Rock type was originally supposed to be, i.e., the type that you make something if you want it to have a lot of durability.
And it has continued to this day.
Oh yeah, well, it was much better designed for that than Rock type. If you remember, Rock type has weaknesses too. Water.
Yep.
Grass.
Yep.
Ground.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Yep.
And most Rock types initially were part ground, which added to them a second weakness to grass, a second weakness to water, weakness to ice, and what was the other one? And weakness to ice, which is a lot of weaknesses for a Pokemon typing that's supposed to be your high durability go-to.
Okay. Oboro, you're not finding the spell sprout.
It would take a while, yes.
Yeah.
Remember, Oboro's attack stat has gone down.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
So Steel type is relevant for that. Dark type is relevant for... Frankly, I do not like the way Dark type was introduced. I have no argument with the type itself.
Oh yeah, no, it's a fun type.
It's a useful type, but there's a big problem in Dark type that has only recently been somewhat fixed. Recently, Dark type went from being completely immune to everything psychic to being resistant to, if I recall correctly.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I picked up Sun and Moon. Or it may have been fixed by adding
fairy typing. At any rate, in first generation, there were two types. Two types that had advantage dealing damage to psychic types.
Yep, those were Bug and...
Ghost.
Yeah, Bug and Ghost.
All right.
And now, I can tell you
first generation, what was the problem? What were the two problems that both Bug and Ghost had dealing with psychic types?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Crobat. That would mostly be the Pokemon they were found on, but also just the moves that they were given.
The moves is one of them. The other one is not so much the Pokemon they were found on as the types they were paired with, namely Poison type, which is weak to Psychic.
Yep.
So in first generation, millions of kids were advised to go get a Ghost to deal with the Psychic type and then had a bad time.
Oh boy, yeah, because Gengar would go, I'm going to take care of this Kadabra. Psychic.
Yep.
Aww.
Because most bugs in first generation were that people could get easily were poison type.
Yeah.
You had the option of Butterfree, which unfortunately is very frail and not suitable to taking on a team throughout the whole game unless you have no other option, such as in a Nuzlocke run. It's versatile, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, no, it got a great spread.
But it's a bug, and that early evolution just destroys its stats.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly,
and you had Scyther and Pinsir, of which you only had one of those two in your cartridge. And let's be honest, Pinsir was never very good.
Them's fighting words.
It's slow. It's real slow. It got Leech Life for its only bug move.
Oh yeah, true. Back in Gen 1. And it got more later.
And in Generation 1, there was one relatively slow psychic type you had to worry about, and that was Slowbro.
Slowbro.
All the other psychic types, including Hypno, were faster than Pinsir. And Pinsir had junk special.
And on top of that, there was only
didn't have any advantage against Psychics.
Yeah.
Venonat, Venomoth, Beedrill, Poison type.
Yep.
Butterfree, not suitable to taking on a team through the whole game in most playthroughs.
Pretty
which
frail.
leaves you with Scyther. Which
No, you're forgetting one. Or did you mention Parasect?
You mean the incredibly slow, incredibly frail thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's gotten its mention.
To be fair, I do love Parasect.
Oh yeah, same
I
here.
just
It's
acknowledge.
a wonderful design.
I just acknowledge its pitiful weaknesses for what they are. You can set up a gimmicky Parasect by using Trick Room and then having it pop in and throw Spore around, and it has good attack, but it's honestly it's a really, really poor quality mon in terms of stats and moveset.
In Gen 1, oh god, it was trash. Didn't stop me from trying to use it against the Mewtwo.
Didn't stop me from using it as part of a team that beat up the Elite Four. But even at the time, I acknowledged that it was kind of crippling me.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, working on grinding because the first gym in Gen 2 is
Flying
Faulkner.
type.
Yes, and what's my team loadout?
Water.
And a bug.
No. You don't even bother bringing that out.
Yeah.
Just don't. You
yes,
have to
but
win
that
this
means
fight with Totodile.
Binam needs to solo this gym.
Oh yeah.
So, we've got him to level 12. Starting to push 13. What do you think? Keep going? Do we go for evolution?
If I recall correctly, Totodile evolves into Croconaw at 18?
Okay, never mind. Go till 15, 16?
I would say... what is the next move that it learns? That's a good question.
Hold on.
It should learn Bite at some point.
There is a very simple way to
I would say go
out.
until it learns Bite, if that happens before reaching about level 16.
Let's see here. Oh wait, here. You do the typing and double check this. I'll continue metering out the ass whooping. And so Bin can become the powerhouse that we all know him to be, and Oboro can learn their ways.
Here we are, Totodile, Pokedex.
Yeah, remember we're looking for Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yep.
Because, yay, the different rates of learning moves across the generations. Even I can't.
Okay,
I can't
it should
track
get
of that.
Bite soon.
Okay,
I'm not
I will
sure
accept.
exactly how soon, but within a couple of levels. If I'm recalling correctly, in this generation, it was level 14?
Okay.
May have been 13.
So, you know what? Yeah, I agree. You know what? Let's aim for 14.
Mm-hmm.
So
at any
oh,
rate,
for frack's sake, Bin just got poisoned.
well, yes, you are fighting Weedle.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, this isn't a bad place. And, you know what? Let's take a quick break. And then we will get back to the grind.
Okay, what were we just talking about in terms of Generation 2 introductions, then?
We've gone to
right,
bugs.
we were going on a riff about Dark type. Okay. That's where that started, and that's where I'd like to bring that back around to before moving on to talk probably about Bug, actually.
Awesome. So, you heard it here, folks. Next, we talk about Dark type, grind up our Totodile, and get Bin into a shape to solo a gym. This has been Zidarose and Quickdraw Crobat. Take care. We'll see you next time.
And remember never to drink root beer on an empty stomach.